Well, day 3, and it was clear right from the start. Whichever forecast you looked at, it was going to be a tricky day with quite light breezes, and the suggestion that the sea breeze was going to play a big part. The difficulty was there seemed as many different views as to what was going to happen as there are forecasts. In the end, the sea breeze did come in, but it was a bit of a long wait and it made for some very, very tricky racing. Anyway, got 2 races in, so that was really good. Now, the person I want to talk to is Steve Cockrell, because he was lurking last time I saw, lurking I think overall in 3rd, just sort of nudging up against the 2 front runners. And I think he had quite a good day, although it's always a bit difficult to tell from our end of the fleet. Hi Steve, you're looking very relaxed.
I am a bit.
Relaxed or shattered?
Yeah, telling the second.
Yeah, it was tricky, wasn't it? I know I said this yesterday, but it was tricky.
I was just saying, how on earth did we get a sea breeze? The gradient's in the wrong direction. It's the wrong quadrant for a gradient. It's meant to be compressing the air. It's meant to be no clouds meant to come up. There's no clouds, but we still get a sea breeze. Weird.
Oh, we can explain that.
Can you?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
It's probably not enough memory in that phone for me.
Okay.
But we were talking about it today, funny enough, and I'm not trying to sound smug, but we were watching the cumulus develop right up the end here, the 3rd, the 4th, and you could see it develop, and it started to suck it in. And once it got kicking, dragged it all in. It came from down there.
Right.
And it's a very dry air mass as well. So there's not much cumulus. There's not much moisture to create the cumulus, but you've still got the thermals.
It was odd, wasn't it?
It was very odd, and it was so patchy. There were so many holes in the breeze.
There were times when you see a gust of wind and you'd change direction by 20 degrees, and then you go out the wind and you go down to 100 degrees, and then it
would just shut off.
Yeah, it was horrendous. I did that. The windward mark, and literally tried to do a jibe, and then I stopped, and the wind just went. And I'm at the windward mark, and the lead of the race going, okay, there is no wind to fill the spinnaker, and they're all charging up. Only a little bit of stress.
Yeah, nerve-wracking day. How'd you get on?
It wasn't the first one, but that was a little bit of luck. Because we were lining up for a poor start at the port end, and you know how you don't quite make the front rank, and you can't get to the front rank because there's too many people pushing. And in fact, the 2 people that were the front rank were OCS, so probably quite lucky. But I saw a gap behind them, and I thought if I tack now, I can cross the gap. So I just tacked and popped out, which was quite nice. And I was checking the gun had gone, so it was okay. You can see me now. I'm all right. There's a nice bit of separation, and it's heart's racing, but you go, yes, I've got separation now, and I can concentrate on sailing the boat.
It was all about getting clear air and separation, wasn't it?
Actually, I've got to say, my wife Sarah, she grew up sailing on tides in Langston Harbour. When we went around the top mark, she said, don't heat it up, soak. You can't afford to heat up in the current. She said, just put the bow into the current and keep it going. And she was right. They all reached off into the shoreline, and we just bowed into the current and just kept, well, we weren't soaking exactly, but we were just trying to niddle it a little bit to get some speed on, and then take it a little bit of speed on, take it, not really heat up. And we just cut the corner, took a massive gain on the rest of the team.
That's very interesting you should say that, and I don't want to sound like I'm being wised off the event again, but from our perspective, a lot further back in the field, we made our biggest gains downwind after I saw you do that. As we were going upwind, I was watching where you went, and I saw you went much further off, and I thought, there's not much to be gained from charging into the shore. So we did what you did. We were way behind you, and it worked every time for exactly that reason.
Yeah.
Stick the bow down, just soak it down, trickle down.
There was wind out there, but occasionally we'd go out there and then it would shut off. And it was very nervy. And then you get tetchy in the boat, then you shout at your crew, and then you have to relax.
No, that
again.
never happens.
No.
I don't have any recollection of it. Right, well, where does that leave you overall? Do you know yet?
I was still 3rd.
Right.
We were close to 4th on same points, but I think we beat them in both races by a place.
Right.
So we're still.
I think Sam and Chris had an OCS in the first race.
Yes, and that will be interesting if we. I think we're 2 points away from them now, apparently.
Right.
And there's obviously two teams that are doing immensely well, and I keep saying to Sarah, let them concentrate on each other, and we'll just snug up on the outside, see what happens.
You keep doing that.
All right.
Good stuff.
Thanks
very much,
Cheers.
Steve. Right. Well, there you have it. See, it's easy as that. That's what you do. So now let's have a look over here. I was going to find some other people, but to be honest, interviewing people in a soaking wet wetsuit is not something I'm used to. And today it's so hot, I'm not sure I can bear it. So We'll take a little break. If we can find someone, we'll bring them to you. Otherwise, well, we'll think of something else. There's always duckums. Okay, so we just walked up in. I did find someone, Hamish Little. He's been at many nationals and many other events, and I found out how he got on.
Hi,
Hamish, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You good day?
Well, any day you walk away from is a good one, I guess. But
Yeah.
had some pretty big moments. But how was it for you?
Well, it was good. We've had a good day. We thought it was good. We had a nice race in the first race. We crossed the line 4th or 5th, only to see that we were over the line at the start. So that was kind of a bitter pill to swallow. Then after we kind of cried for a few minutes, pulled our bottom lips back in, we had a good second race. I think we were 5th in that one. So yeah, we were quite happy. We feel to be going well. So
It was tricky to read though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of I think it suited us lake sailors a bit more. It felt like a big lake out there, shifty, soft bits, nice bits. Yeah, and certainly later on as well, the tide kind of kicked in, didn't it? And
It did.
It certainly meant, off wind, hitting the left-hand corner quite severely to get out of it.
It seemed like a mixture of, like you say, lake sailing, which I've never been any good at, and solent sailing.
Oh right, okay. Well, I've not done much solent sailing,
tide.
so but it felt a strong tide later on.
Yeah.
I think because the wind dropped off, so the tide seemed quite strong relatively.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job to get 2 races in because that was
Yeah.
tricky with that sea breeze coming in. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the things you said in that briefing.
Yeah, a lot of it went out of our heads, particularly after the result in the first race. But we kind of enjoyed it eventually. I kind of hoped we could get another one in, but it was the right call to can it, wasn't it?
They wouldn't have made it.
It was a long drift back.
Well, if it's any consolation, I think Sam and Chris were OCS in the first race as well.
Oh, was it them?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because we went alongside them and they were crying into their tube bars.
Is that why you're not talking to them?
I daren't. Have you seen the size of Chris? He's huge.
He's big, isn't he?
I'm not going to talk to him when he's
been working
upset.
out as well, yeah.
How are you getting on overall? Where do you think you are?
Well, we had that gear failure on the first race as well, so we lost our forestay. So so that wasn't great. So if today had gone okay, would have done all right. We might have moved up 6th or 7th, I don't know, 8th. But now we've got 2 disc cars. We need to wait for the after race 7 the second disc car kicks in. So we'll just keep ploughing on.
Well, you know what's going to cure it?
A few beers.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll see you over there.
See you in the bar later.
All right. Cheers, Hamish. There you go. Well, that's where we're going to go as well. But you knew that was coming.
Richard and Hester making an attempt to win the Duckums on points for this event. Approaching, I think, the busiest leeward mark that everyone will remember from today, from the wrong side and calling for water. That's still second place. In first place, I think, is Martin and Alan, who, on the final downwind, absolutely storming downwind, overtook about 7 boats, cruising, 9 boats. On the reach to the finish, crew had a bit of a loyalty problem, decided to abandon ship. Helm had to go back and retrieve, dropped back to last place, I believe, sadly. But that's not all. On the tow-in, while being towed, boats started separating. Crew re-evaluated the loyalties of the crew. Decided this was the occasion to jump on the boat with his helm. Promptly capsized. Martin